All right, Calvin, what do you got for your first item here?
So my first item on the docket is the second annual Python Web Conference, which I'm actually one of the co-organizers of this web conference. So I'm excited to come on here and tell you all about this amazing event that's coming up. We did this last year, and we thought it was a pretty good success, and so we wanted to actually continue that tradition. And it seemed to fall perfectly within all these conferences converting to virtual conferences. We are a virtual first conference. This was not a planned change to virtual. We're really doing this for real as a virtual conference. But this is
Yeah,
targeted
you did
to,
this, just to be clear, you guys did
yeah,
this last year when it was not
right.
required to be virtual,
When it was not hip and cool to be a virtual remote conference.
or
So
at least a year ahead of your time.
we are. I like to think I'm a trailblazer when it comes to some of these things, but I'm only taking credit for the amazing work done by the people who are certainly behind me doing all the real work. But we're basically putting on what we're calling the most in-depth Python conference for web developers. I don't know if you all have been to PyCon. There seems to be a lack of web and production level talks going on there these days. Well, it kind of goes back a long ways. And so we felt like this was a gap in the Python ecosystem for folks to come and talk about production use of Python in on the web. So we're gonna have talks on Django, Flask, Twisted, lots of testing talks. So maybe I'll draw certain folks from this audience in who like testing, SQL alchemy, containers, deployment, like tons of stuff like that. So it's going to be a bunch of cool web talks and just kind of 3 tracks. So it's actually going to be 3 days. It is June 17th to the 19th. So make sure you mark that on your calendar right now. I would love if you went and bought a ticket right now, but go ahead and mark that on your calendar, save the date. There'll be a full day of tutorials. So there'll be 6 tutorials, 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, 2 days of talks with 3 tracks. We've got some awesome keynote speakers. So Lorena Mesa from the Python Software Foundation is going to be one of our keynotes. We've got Hennick, Russell Keith McGee, who gave a keynote at PyCon 2 years ago. Yeah, well, if you count,
2018, yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
if you
It
count,
depends if you count this one, yeah.
right. So he'll
Skipping the
be
gap year.
coming back and hopefully giving some more insights into. Hopefully, I'd love to see what he thinks kind of post Black Swan era. If you remember his talk from
Yeah,
PyCon,
that was a
uh,
super good talk, yeah.
it was a super good talk, and that's why I'm really really excited. He decided to kind of join my merry band and go on an adventure with all of us. We'll have some fireside chats. So during lunch, there's going to be I don't know if you all are familiar with Carl Meyer, but he works for Instagram. He's in their infrastructure team, and so he's really available to talking about like best practices. So we'll ask all kinds of deep questions, and actually, I've just enjoyed talking to him to no end about how things actually work in the real world for some of these kinds of things. Not everyone's doing microservices to the hilt. Like there are people who are running real things that are just like Django monoliths, and they still work, and they're kind of tried and true. So there'll be a 40 plus presentations, 6 tutorials. Fun will be had by all. Hopefully connections will be made. We really work hard at making sure that these kinds of virtual events are maybe overly stimulating, so that you've got lots to do and kind of lots to interact with. There will be, kind of virtual cocktail hours afterwards, online gaming. So we had a Mario Kart tournament at our last virtual conference, and
Nice.
we're gonna do a bring back our board game night. And so actually, as part of the conference registration, you'll be sent a pre-swag pack that'll include something for the board game night. So if you actually want to play one of the games, we're going to give every person who attends what they need. And actually, you don't need to have that to play, but we're going to have some specially themed ones made specifically for Python Web Conference. So
Do you point
the
like your webcam at it and everyone sets it up in the initial state and like keep syncing it?
Well, okay, so I'll kind of give a little bit of cat out of the bag, but we're going to play Skull. Have you ever played Skull? It's a
No.
bluffing game. It's a lot of fun. So basically, everyone has 4 coasters. I mean, look like the coasters, look kind of like just a round circular cardboard coaster. 3 of them have flowers typically, and one has a skull on it. So it's a bluffing game to see how many flowers you can acquire before you run into somebody's skull or your own skull. So we're going to do a Python themed version of that with a web slant. So it should be pretty cool. Looking forward to that.
That
The
sounds fun.
tickets, yep. So the tickets are $199 and $99 for students. Now, as a bonus, there is for every professional ticket purchased, we're going to donate a ticket to an attendee in a developing country. So we want to be able to get people who couldn't normally even make it to a physical conference at this event. If you're in the middle of Africa or some far off place and you couldn't normally get to a conference like this, we want to make sure you can attend and actually connect with the Python web community. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then I do have a discount code for the Python Bytes listeners. There will be a 20% discount code if you just use the code PB20, and you guys
All
will
right,
get
cool.
a 20% off discount.
Nice.
Yeah, this sounds like a fun conference. I really like that you're taking the like digitally native approach to the conference, because I feel like there's a lot of attempts at this right now, and we'll see what sticks. But everyone's trying to reinvent conferences, and this feels like a pretty good attempt at it. So
I've attended a couple recently where they kind of took conference skeuomorphism to an extreme. Like you kind of VR style walked into an expo hall and kind of clicked to go through a hall, and you're sitting in front of a screen with like Mystery Science Theater 3000 style, like, you know, characters sitting in front of you.
The silhouettes of people in front of you.
That's not the way to go. Then that's not what this is.
Yeah, I saw something where they're like, oh, we'll make it totally real. You've got to like go check in with a real person before they'll let you into the virtual conference and stuff like that. It's
no.
It's
no,
interesting.
No.
Yeah.
No,
so Microsoft Build is running right now, and they're, you know, trying to figure out what they're doing there. It didn't look super good to me this morning, the way the experience was going, but you know, they're doing it for a week, so or 3 or 4 days. So I don't know, maybe that'll be an example as well.
AWS just did their summit, and I didn't hear very good things about that
it's a big challenge, and there's a possibility that I might be speaking at this conference.
Oh, that's right. How could I forget? We do have. If you go look at the speakers page, it is. I'm super excited. I mean, it is a who's who of Python web community, and it just kind of speaks to the volumes of like the confidence these people have that we can pull this off. That they're here to speak for this conference.
Yeah, very cool. All right, well, I definitely think it's going to be a fun event. People can check it out. We'll obviously links. Thank you for watching this segment of the Python Bytes podcast. This video was made during the recording of the full episode. Visit pythonbytes.fm and get the whole story. Subscribe to the podcast and get the entire episode delivered to your phone. Please support our work by taking one of the courses at pythonbytes.fm/courses or learning PyTest with Brian's book at pythonbytes.fm/PyTest. Finally, visit our sponsor shown on the screen here. Visit the link on the screen and get the special offer for Python Bytes and YouTube listeners. Thanks, and have a great rest of your day.